There are some aspects of binge eating that are really difficult to explain to somebody who has never experienced that, who's never like comfort eaten and then felt like really guilty, really disgusting about what they ate. Like, for example, that moment where you decide, I'm just gonna add, another 10 grams of peanut butter to my porridge or something like that. And it's not, you decide not to track it, you kind of just go, whatever, like it doesn't actually matter. But it's almost like your brain clocks it and you know that you've maybe not even weighed it out, and that you've eaten this one thing that you weren't planning on eating, and your brain keeps track of it, like it keeps tabs on it. And the more time passes, it's like the more annoyed you get at yourself for doing that. And it, almost like paradoxically, the more annoyed you get at yourself for having eaten that thing that you weren't planning on eating, that you didn't track, and that now you don't know how much it is, the more time passes, the more anxious you get. And the more anxious you get, the more you want to eat in response to that anxiety. And then you eat more because you're like, well, who gives a shit? Like, I've already had a bit of peanut butter. And you have maybe like a packet of crisps that you weren't planning on having, or like a small bar of chocolate. And that only adds fuel to fire. But like, that that's happening. Like, that the reason you feel like on edge and sort of a bit stressy and snappy is because you've eaten something that you didn't want to eat. But it's almost like the response to that is that you end up eating more because either you already feel like shit, you feel like you deserve to feel like shit, or you feel like you already fucked it for the day. And that's even like before you've committed to the full binge, because you might then end up in the shops like ordering a takeaway and you feel the anxiety and the stress. It's almost like that verge. I don't know, I always felt like it was, like a roller coaster, that point in the roller coaster where you're about to fall. But at the same time, there's like this real excitement, like this high of like chasing, okay, like what binge food am I going to eat? Like, what am I going to get? And you get really excited about it. But yeah, it's always like really close to stress and anxiety, and knowing that you're going to regret what you're about to do, like almost regretting that you're about to do it anyway, like before it's even happened. But there's literally nothing you can do to stop it. And it's horrific. And it's, you only really get a break from that anxiety and tension and stress and just the noise of the food and what you've eaten and what you've not eaten and how you fucked up and all this stuff, like when you sit and binge. And that's when it stops, and then it is just like the high of the food that you're eating and like just that relief. But obviously once the food is over and like, you're covered in crumbs, there's wrappers everywhere, your hands are fucking sticky, like the disgust that you feel about yourself just, it comes back about 1,000-fold. You feel horrific. And yeah, I mean, you take yourself to bed feeling bloated, like full stomach, like you just think, oh my God, why the fuck did I do that? Like, I'm never doing this again, I swear to God. But like you said that last time, so you can't even believe your own words that it's not going to happen again because you've said that many times. And yeah, I just think that that's just something that, unless you've been there, like that cycle, it's so difficult to explain to someone who's never experienced it, because it's like, that you're going to do something that you regret, but you can't stop yourself from doing it. And yeah, it's just really hard.